Hello there, Pastor Hal here with you, and this is Janice and Doug Kennedy with Crew, and they are church members here at Cornerstone Family, but also they are missionaries, and they've been missionaries with Crew for a very long time. And so they go to lots of different countries. They've just gotten back from a trip on the other side of the world. Some of these locations that you go to, you don't disclose the country just because of some tensions that could be there.
Yeah, and we can't mention some country names.
Okay, and so this is one of those. So if the viewers are watching and they're like, where were they? Well, they were somewhere because they're going to tell us, they're going to share a little bit of some of the stories and things that went on while they were on this trip. So on this particular trip, what were you doing when you went over to this particular country?
The main thing was to provide an opportunity for teachers that are involved in our ministry to open up spiritual conversations with their colleagues. We did that by introducing their colleagues for 2 days to a character education curriculum that we've written. And so it's biblically based, but not overtly Christian.
That way, if they're coming from a different faith background, they still can immerse themselves in the material.
Yeah, they can still teach the material. At the end of each lesson, there are the Bible verses and the biblical principles that are behind the content of that lesson.
Oh, yeah.
But the teacher doesn't have to cover that in order to teach the material to their class.
Okay, that's great. And so Janice, you were on this trip as well.
I was.
And were you doing some of the same things that Doug was doing, or did you have a different role?
I did teach one of the sessions.
Okay.
It was on what could break a person's dreams, because the curriculum is called Dream Makers, Dream Breakers.
Okay.
And what is it that a high school or an elementary child can do that can destroy their dreams?
Mm-hmm.
So one of them that I discussed was being on technology too much, where you can eat up a lot of time. The lesson is geared toward internet gaming and some of the dangers of that, and just how much time we all spend on our phones, and they can get away from us.
Absolutely. That's excellent. You don't think of that necessarily as being such a practical help when you're on a missions trip. You know, you're always thinking, we're building churches, but you're actually integrating helpful tools into people's lives. All under the umbrella of Christianity. So that's really great. So. I'd like to ask Janice, so when you think back to this most recent trip, what's one of your favorite takeaways? What's one of the favorite memories that you came away with?
Well, the thing that it was an encouragement to me is that when I saw these teachers who want to reach their colleagues, and they came for training, they came during their break, and they went through this training, and the excitement they had watching them with their different, facilitate their different groups, they were excited about the material. They were excited to reach their colleagues and start conversations. And many of them that came, most of them that came, the other teachers, were not Christians.
Wow.
So that part
That's a great opportunity.
was an exciting part, yeah.
Wow. That's great. Doug, what was one of your favorite takeaways?
When we did our small group facilitator training the day before the conference, one of the teachers that's involved with us said one of the activities we do a life map with people where they can kind of draw a visual representation of their life and things. And she said, "This is not going to work. In this culture, people don't open up like that. They're not going to talk about anything deep,
Right.
Especially the men." The next day, her group was doing their life maps, and after they drew them, they had an opportunity to share their life map. One of the men, who's not from a Christian background, shared some really deep hurts in his life and things, started crying.
Wow.
And she was just blown away.
That he was that transparent.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that these life maps brought that level of sharing out.
Wow.
And in the evaluation meeting, she said, I have to repent. I didn't think this was going to work at all, but it was very powerful.
Wow, that's great. That's great. How can our church family or anybody that's viewing this recap of this trip, how can they pray for you two as a missionary couple, and then maybe even pray for whatever the next endeavors are? But what are the types of things that that people can focus their prayer on?
For us, just that as we get older, I think that we can still continue to make an impact and just still be used by the Lord to bring people to Him and to open up doors for discipleship and things. For the teachers' ministry, just pray that the believing teachers that are involved with us will be bold as they can in their context,
Right.
to share the gospel with their colleagues. There's a lot more openness than a lot of people think,
Oh, that's good.
and just pray that they'll be willing to step into those situations.
Interesting. That's good. That's good to know. That's encouraging for us back home to hear too, because it can get discouraging if we have a preconceived idea of how a particular country is or how receptive or non-receptive, a people group can be. So that's good. That's really good. So what are you able to tell us what the next trip is and where the next location is, or is that another one of those ones that's a little sensitive?
No, this one's totally open.
Okay.
In April, we're working on a trip to Zimbabwe
Okay.
in southern Africa, and we will be training the Zimbabweans who are involved with us to basically do what I do. To conduct the training that I have done with them, and to build a movement of discipleship and evangelism among teachers throughout the country.
Wow, great. That's great. You said that's coming right up in April.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that for us, we really want to see that wherever we are, that people can do the same thing that we do.
Yeah, duplicate that.
Yes.
Right.
In case we can't go back to that country.
Yep, that's great, because if you have the indigenous people well trained and they're able to carry on that mission, that's what discipleship is, right?
Yeah.
Making disciples who can make disciples.
Right.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time out. We appreciate the efforts and your faithfulness and willingness to go to all these strange lands and all under the banner of Christ. And so we thank you for that. And anything you'd like to share in closing, or?
I just want to thank Cornerstone for being such a great support for us, being such a great place to fellowship. We've made so many good friends here, and just thank you for your investments in our ministry.
Absolutely.
And for all the prayer. We're very grateful for this church.
That's awesome. Well, we love having you guys here, and it is what makes us Cornerstone family, is that we are all in this together. All right. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll have more updates soon.